Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, coming to you with the morning market preparation video for February 6th, 2018. Well, this doggone market has really tossed a lot at us this year, hasn't it? Kind of reminds me a little bit of that old Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So where's the good? Well, the good was right here, obviously. We had tremendous runs. We were making new record highs almost daily. The bad last Friday, where we dropped nearly 700 points in the market, and followed directly by the ugly. And oh my goodness, what a move yesterday was. If we take a look at from high to low now, high to low, if we go clear to the tail here, that's 10%. We are now in correction territory. And we've done it in just really 2 days. Amazing volatility in this market. And if you guys have been reading the note, watching the videos, I've been warning that volatility is likely to increase. I didn't expect this. I don't think anyone could have predicted this kind of market reaction. So what's happening? Well, first off, yesterday we saw bond rates starting to move up, and they ended the day up around 2.8%. That really got the market nervous that bonds were starting to increase. There also seemed to be all of a sudden just very hypersensitive to interest rate raises. Now, we all know that FOMC is not going to come out and really shock the market. That's not what they do. They're going to slowly and gradually move. So, logic tells us that this really shouldn't be occurring. But the thing about logic is it kind of gets tossed out the window when emotions come into play. Any man that's ever looked at his wife when she's emotional about something and said, "Now, come on, that doesn't make any sense," has heard the phrase, "Don't tell me how to feel." And that's really what's going on with the market. Don't try to make sense of this. Don't tell it how to feel. It feels the way it feels, and it's all wrapped up in panic right now. Just a massive wave of panic came over the market. And we can try to make logic out of this. We can try to make sense out of this, but it's a little bit like just banging your head against the wall. It's not going to be very productive. It's going to give you a headache, and pretty soon it's going to get real old doing that. So don't try to make sense of this. Now, during the evening, there was just tremendous volatility in the futures. Last night about 11 o'clock, Dow futures were down more than 800 points, almost 900 points down. At around 4 a.m. this morning, the Dow futures were up about 150 points. At about 7:12, when I was writing the morning note, futures were down nearly 400 points. And as I record this right now at 7:45, futures are only down 183 points. We are flipping all over the place and very fast price action. Folks, because futures have set a low so far down there, almost 900 points lower, we could easily see that get retested today. That means that the Dow would be down 1,200, 1,300 points possibly if we retest that futures overnight low. And I'm not suggesting that we will, but it is possible. And what I'm trying to indicate with this volatility is there are some huge sharks in this water. All right. You're going to be best as a retail trader just getting the heck out. We are that little fish, and we are just nothing but chum in the water, and it's going to be almost impossible not to get bit if you're in the water today. So my suggestion is stand aside. There's no reason to play in this volatility. It will subside. It will finish itself up. It will relax and come back around to some logic and some reason. But we can't reason with this market, and we sure don't want to try and predict it because it's flipping back and forth in such rapid moves right now in the futures. There's no edge here unless you are an extremely fast intraday trader. You better just stand aside. So what did we do here? Well, obviously, we cracked through 25,000. We lost support. We came all the way back down here to this support area. We could easily see this support area today, very easily. And if we drop through that, where are we going? We could come all the way down to here. All right. So if we were to drop back down into this area, we're in that area of a full-on correction of 11% down from the highs. And remember, corrections can go between 11 and 20% before we run into what they call a bear market condition. And that means we could come all the way back down here and still just be in a correction. So be very, very careful, guys. This is these are ugly moves, and anything is possible here today. Absolutely anything is possible. Let's take a quick look at the SPY. SPY, brutal day yesterday, closing at or near the lows, breaking support here. Notice that we're going to open up very close to this support level this morning if we stay right where we are. An ugly gap down here in the SPY. On the Qs, very much the same thing. We're come down here to this support level. Looks like we're gapping down to it this morning. Pretty ugly gap down. If we don't hold support in here, well, look out below. We've got big moves that could come below that. Okay, and let's take a look at IWM. Now IWM is really ugly here, breaking through some big levels of support. The next support level down here is significantly lower here in IWM, and you can see we're coming close to gapping down to that this morning. So nasty price action. If we take a look at the VIX, remember I said, and I've been saying this for a while, if the VIX ever got above this line, held it as support, that's where the trouble would come in. And holy moly, I never expected this. I mean, in any way, shape, or form, did not expect this. If we take a look at a weekly here, you can see we're spiking up here to highs in the market. We'll probably blow past these this morning. Highs in the market that go clear back to 2011, 2012 area, maybe even 2010, in fear. I mean, really massive fear. And honestly, it's irrational, because when you look at the overall of the market, when you look at the economic markers, employment's good. I mean, there's just so much going on good in the market. This is really irrational right now. But remember, markets can stay irrational much longer than you can stay liquid trying to fight it. So just get out of the way. Get out of the way and save yourself. Don't fight this, because we could stay really volatile like this for days, maybe even weeks. So be very, very careful. We're now down 200 points in the futures and falling at the moment. So crazy price actions. Let's take a look at T21. 22. T21.22 is now showing just absolutely way out of the box here, a bullish reversal zone that we should bounce here at any time. But seeing how violent the futures are moving around, let's keep in mind anything is possible. All right, so don't bet on the market bouncing here right away. On the economic calendar, there's not much here on the calendar today. We have international trade, and unfortunately, the international trade is expected to widen its deficit today. The job openings report here is expected a slight increase, that there will be more job openings out there. Companies are hiring, and that's one of the issues that's kind of fogging the brain of the market right now, is that real wages are rising for the first time in a long time. And that's got the market spooked that we're going to see some inflation come into play. So be really, really careful. We also have a Fed speaker this morning, but who knows? With the market being so emotional, anything that Fed speaker has to say could really move the market around. On the earnings front, we have about 150 companies reporting today. Companies like Disney, CMG, GM, BZH, Gilead, a lot of companies reporting today. So who knows? We might get some love out of the market if we get good earnings. If those earnings come in poorly, of course, it's hard to know how an emotional market is going to react to those earnings. So moral of the story for today, I think, is just to protect yourself. Get out of the water if you can, and stand aside. Don't try to force trades. Don't try to pick a bottom. Let this settle down. It's not going to happen. It's not going to correct itself instantly. So be very, very careful how you get into that water, because there's some angry sharks, and they're going to be bite happy today. So be careful. Everyone, have a great day. I wish you profits. If you are in the short side of this market, awesome. If you stayed into some short trades, congratulations. Other than that, just be safe, okay? Take care, everyone. I will talk to you all very, very soon, bright and early tomorrow morning.